in today's vlog, I want to share a major update because it's a very, very exciting stage of all the processes that I'm doing here. It's been a very long, stressful journey. And while I'm happy to share some good news, I also have some not so good news. Actually, bad news that hit me on the very same day. Okay, let's start with the good news. After months of negotiations, back and forth discussions, and emotional stress, I finally signed the deed of sale for my road right away. So if you've watched my previous vlog, you'll remember that the second property owner kept changing her mind about the agreed price. Like she changed her mind like she changes her clothes. It was mentally exhausting, very stressful. I was nervous every day, anxious every day, every time I need to meet her, every time I talk to her. You don't know the stress I was feeling because I know that she's going to change her mind anytime. I didn't give up. I knew how important this was for the property. So no matter how I really tried to explain to the property owners how the easements I'm working on are actually going to increase the value of their land, right? Because it's true. Easements are a big issue in buying land in the Philippines, and resolving that problem makes their land more valuable because they won't have that problem anymore. They won't face that kind of problem anymore in the future if they want to sell their land. Still, logic wasn't enough. I had to be a little tricky just to get them to sign. But I won't go into the detail here about the exact trick I did, just to be safe, but it worked. I got them into signing the papers and they accepted my payment. Actually, during the signing at the lawyer's office, the second property owner tried to ask for more money. She wanted an extra 50,000 pesos because according to her, the amount would be divided among 7 people. I was actually shocked because, that's not my problem anymore. So I stood my ground, of course. I even showed them my bank account, my online banking. I only have 200 pesos left. That was all I had after everything, withdrawing everything. I told them I don't cheat money. I don't book money. You can just ask and expect me to say yes. I wasn't going to be pressured into giving more than what we already agreed on. I bargained so hard. I went through a lot to get this price, to make them agree with this price. Of course, I didn't agree to the additional amount they're asking me. So I paid 130,000 pesos, but actually they were, yeah, I agreed in paying 5,000 pesos more because she doesn't want to give up bargaining in front of the lawyer at the lawyer's office. So I was like, okay, but I can't give it today because this is what I withdrawed and this is the only money I have right now. I need to wait for my salary. That's what I told them. After 1 week, I signed with the first landowner, and this one was very smooth. There's no problem. It was very fast transaction. I paid her 130,000 pesos as well. So as of now, I paid 260,000 pesos in total. And then another 5,000 pesos for the second property owner who keeps on asking me to add more. And the third landowner, thankfully, was much easier to deal with. Like I said, he knows the trade and understands the situation. So, since he'll be using the same easement from the first and second properties, I'm letting him pass for free. And then, of course, in return, he's allowing me to pass through his property without charging me. It's mutual and it's just fair. So yes, that is the good news. I finally have my easement. It's forever. I can build anytime I want now as long as I have the budget. I'm currently finalizing also the design of the simple house I want to build, but that's not the next project yet. Next will be the actual construction of the road to the property. That's actually another story. That's the one that I'm actually dealing with right now already for 2 weeks now because the contractor that I spoke with is not very committed. I don't know how I'm gonna make people be committed. I guess it's just really like this in the Philippines, especially in the provinces. You can't make a schedule. You won't be able to follow the schedule. It will be always late or delayed. Okay, now let's talk about the bad news. On the same day I signed the deed of sale at the lawyer's office, I received a call from the agent who's processing my land title. She told me, you need to go to this lawyer. Your title needs a court hearing. There's a discrepancy in your title. The moment I heard the words court hearing and lawyer, it felt like I fell from the heaven to hell. So apparently, the location of the land stated in the title is different from what appears in the provincial office's tax mapping. So, in the tax declaration form, which we pay annually, the location is listed as Barangay B, but in the title, it says Barangay A. Two completely different addresses. In the solution, a court hearing, 1 year minimum, and a lot of money to burn again. It's like a loop of problems with this property. I was so confused. Why is this my problem? Who made this mistake in the first place? Shouldn't the government office responsible for this be held accountable? The one who did the mistake? So I went to the mayor's office to ask for clarification. They told me the only way to fix it is through a court hearing. I asked them, but who made this mistake? Why do I need to be the one to fix it? Okay, now they started pointing fingers. One of them said, go to the registry of deeds because what we know is court hearing. That is the solution to this kind of case. Okay, so I went to the registry of deeds. I asked them who's responsible for the error. They said their job is just to encode the information provided to them by the ENR, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. So apparently, all the processes, it all begins from DENR because DENR is the one who's responsible in subdividing all the lots that the government give away to the people. So it all starts from DNR. It all starts from this office. They have all the original records. They have all the original records, like where is this property really located? Where is this property belong to? In what municipality? In what village? In what barangay? Okay, so I went to DNR to get answers, but what I got instead was gaslighting from the director. He had no empathy, no willingness to help. I was already emotionally drained from dealing with the easement process, and now this. I told the director, your office made the mistake, and now all you do is put the blame, put the burden on us. How's that even fair? He blamed me, said I should have done due diligence before buying the land. And I told him, so what are you getting paid for? If we're supposed to do your job, why do you even exist as an office? Well, I didn't really ask the why, what are you getting paid for? But I asked, if we're supposed to do your job, why do you even exist as an office? And he said it happened a long time ago, and the people who worked on it aren't there anymore. Of course, that's in the 1980s when the title was made. My title was made. I said, yeah, that's true. So you've had decades to fix the system, and this is still how you operate. He had zero empathy. At one point, I broke down, my voice cracked, and all the staff were looking at me. It was kind of embarrassing, really. I was crying. I told him, you need to be this office needs to be accountable. You need a better system. People shouldn't suffer because s- this office didn't do their job properly. He said there's nothing they can do. The only solution is still a court hearing. And then I asked him, okay, just at least explain me what is there to be proven, what is there to try. Why does it need a court hearing? He doesn't know. He had no answers. He couldn't answer me. He doesn't have any explanation. He just said that's the process. I just want to understand why a simple mistake like that needs a court hearing. A simple mistake that can be easily avoided they if they do their job properly in that office, right? Because it's not like this is the first time that they encountered this case. There are other people who went to them with the same concern, and until now they are still making the same mistake, even now with our digital equipments. So they can't make an excuse. It's been what my title has been made 1980s, and they have a lot of cases like this, and they have all the time to fix the system and the process, and a more efficient process for both the buyer, the owner, and them and the office. But no, it's easier to put the blame on the the person who bought a land that has problem. I mean, of course, what can we expect? Government offices, government workers are actually the laziest people. laziest workers here in the Philippines. And then I asked him, can't you just give me a paper since your staff already confirmed me that the correct location of the property is in Barangay A? Can't you just give me a piece of paper that confirms it and sign and seal it and then make a letter attached to it and state there that this is a confirmation that this property is on this location, so you can proceed with the transferring of title. Can't you just provide me a paper like that? Because you already confirmed me. You confirmed, you told me, you confirmed from your records that the location is here. I don't get why it needs court hearing. Make it make sense, guys. Make it make sense. And of course, he said, no, court hearing is the only fix. So I walked out of his office feeling completely helpless. I wanted to scream. I wanted to punch something, someone. I was full of anger and hate. I didn't understand how this makes sense to anyone. Why do we have to pay for their mistakes? And they don't care at all. They don't care about fixing the system or or coming up with a better solution, a more efficient way to fix problems like this. Because it's not only it's not only one case. There's a lot of cases like this. I went back to my motorbike. I was crying. I opened my camera and started recording a rant. I just want to vent out my frustrations. Wanted to post it in my Patreon account, but I felt pathetic afterwards. But at the moment, I was shaking with anger and frustration. I cried the whole way home like a child who didn't get their favorite candy. I felt really sorry for myself. When I think about everything I've gone through just to own this piece of land, like I am really fighting hard for it. It makes me proud, but also deeply angry. It takes so much effort to lift yourself up again. And just when you do, something else tries to push you back down. So the next morning, I felt calmer, but I'm still firm. I'm not going to proceed with that nonsense court hearing. I don't care anymore. And before anyone tells me, Rubeauty, don't put more money into the land until the title is clean, until you get the title to your name. I'll say this, I'm done waiting. I am sure about the land. I have the deed of sale and I'm sure that the land is there. I know that for sure. Small discrepancy on the title isn't going to stop me anymore. I'm stubborn, yeah. And honestly, I don't want to waste more money on a broken system. I just want to build my small house already. What is the worst thing can happen? This is Philippines. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll keep sharing the real story. See you in the next vlog.